in here.
And some old ones.
I used to see you guys. How you guys doing? Welcome.
Quez, Kaiser, Jordan Davis, update on those guys? Do you have an update on those guys?
Quez, Jordan Davis, and Kaiser. Yeah, we're still working through it. So, you don't get much injury information from me. We'll see. They're progressing well. They're progressing well. We'll see what happens. I know you guys always. Yeah, there's always something you find too. Is like, oh, I think he gave us a little something on this one. So, I know you are.
Get him back. How much would that mean to have Devontae back?
I see how you asked that question. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously he's a big time slot in this league, and we're when he's ready to go, we're going to be excited to get him back out there. Josiah's done a nice job filling in for him, made some nice plays. We're hopeful for Avonte this week, but we'll see how it goes. Today's a walkthrough, and then tomorrow will be a big test. And I'm just happy that we got him back out there practicing as it right now, and we'll take it one day at a time.
You haven't allowed yourself before to peek ahead to Super Bowl, but you do have guys in the locker room that have won it, and you brought in a couple guys who have won it, and you have a couple assistants maybe. How important is that, and do you ever kind of ask those questions of what it's like to be, to play that far ahead, or to have the type of culture in the building?
Yeah, not even a little bit am I thinking about that. Just is really all I'm thinking about is this next game. Really just how we get locked in to play this good football team that we're going to go out there and play. Now, last year when we got into the playoffs, I remember saying something like, hey, we got some guys that have had some really good experience here, with the guys that have won Super Bowls on this team, the guys who have played in AFC or NFC championships, the guys that have played in national championship games. I remember saying that before we played Tampa last year. And so when that time comes, maybe I'll think through that. But, every game's a big game. And to have guys that are sitting in this in these seats out here that are, have played in big games, that's huge, right? So this is a division, right? We know how awesome the division rivalries are here in with New York and Dallas and Washington, and just happy to be part of that. And so I'm glad we got guys in this building that know what it's like to be in big division rivalry games, because that's the next one. And so I know we got a really good team that we're about to play this week, and we're gonna have to be on it to go out there and get a victory.
How did James Bradbury and Darius Slay kind of complement each other at cornerback and enable you guys to do different things?
Yeah, I think it's just that you don't have the compliment is that you're just like, hey, we're going to attack this guy. Well, you can't. You're going to attack this guy if you think like, hey, we're going to attack the guy that's the weak link. We don't have a weak link. And those guys are playing strong football, and they're both really good players. And, James was our player of the week this past week against Tennessee. He had a great game. And just – it's they complement each other well, because it's just like there's not one side you can go and pick on, and they're just James has just been awesome, and Slay's been awesome. Not only getting the taking the ball away, but denying the football, right? And just they're both intelligent players, both highly skilled players. And so that's one of the first things you think about in offense. What corner can I go at? What defensive end do I have to protect against? Right? You think about those things, and I'm just glad we're deep at those positions, and they really complement each other well in that matter.
Jalen won Player of the Week, second week in a row, and he's done it in such divergent ways. You've been around a lot of good quarterbacks. Have you ever been this versatile as far as your offense?
Yeah, no, he's had two really good games in a row, and like you said, John, has been really different of how he's done that, right? And so, man, I don't think so. I know Phillip wasn't running for all those yards like that, and then you talk about the good quarterbacks that have been around. Phillip was more of a pocket passer. Andrew was a little bit, more of a pocket passer, but had the ability to move and get out of things, but those were two more pocket passers. Again, Andrew could do some of those things, but Jalen's just so dynamic as far as both of the things he's doing, right? With the be able to, how many guys? You guys would know the stats better than I would. Like, how many guys have actually thrown for that many yards after a game where they ran for that many yards? Like, close, setting a team record in rushing yards, and then coming out and doing it. So it's pretty special. And it's obviously you love that as a coach to be able to work it both ways, because you saw the effect it had on the defense. Without getting too much into it, like, there was a major effect. The way he ran the week before had a major effect on how the Titans played us. A major effect. So, and now that the teams are going to have to look at that as well. How the Titans played us, and so and how we played against them. So it really helps you as a coach. It helps the entire team, obviously, when he's doing the things he's doing like that.
Not sure if you saw, but there was a report linking you guys to Odell Beckham. Just wanted to see about if anything is there.
Yeah, really happy with the room that we have. One of the best wideout rooms. The best wideout room I've ever been a part of in the NFL. And we've had some. We've had some good ones, and this is the best one we've had. And so I love what, obviously, everybody knows what AJ and Devontae are doing, right? And so, and then you have Quez, who's continuing to come on and continuing to make plays and continuing to be that big, speed receiver that we need. And then you have Zach Pascal, who is very critical to a team, the type of play he brings. And your fourth has to be a special teams contributor, which Zach is, and he's got to be willing to do the dirty work and be able to back up every single position, which he does, and do have a specialty role which he does too. Have that, and then your fifth guy better play special teams, and our fifth guy is our returner, who had a really had his best game as a professional last week, and so I'm really excited about that room, and I'll let you leave it at that.
So you're not signing.
At this time last year, you spoke about having the team peak late in the year. When you're 11-1, is there another gear to hit? How do you get the team?
Yeah, of course. We think you always have room to get better and get better and get better and get better, and that's what we're striving. That's why we're trying like crazy to stay in the moment and how we get better today to put ourselves in 1-0 this week. And so you always can get your detail better. You always can do something a little bit better. And so that's what we're on them about. Like, hey, these things that we're doing are really well, but we got to clean up these things. And so that's the constant thing you're trying to do as a coach and you're trying to do as a player is just improve. And when you live by that every day, then hopefully you do this the entire year until you don't, and you're not practicing anymore, right? And so, that's just our, I don't want to say like, but that it's just the way we go about business here. And so there's nobody that's content with anything because we haven't done anything yet. All right. And so our job is to get ready and go win this game this week and forget about what's happened in the past. And we're going out there to play a good opponent this week. And how do we win that game?
Fletcher Cox has had a sack in each of the last two games, Fletcher. And he alluded to having a nagging injury that he was kind of fighting through. Are we seeing now a healthy Fletcher Cox? And how much of an impact has Sue and Joseph made in terms of reducing his snaps a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, you want to be as fresh as you can at those positions, right? And just keep a wave of guys coming at them. And we're as you know, we're really deep at that position. That's huge, right? And you've seen how good our defense has played these last couple weeks and really throughout the whole season. I mean, if you look, the body of work of the entire season has been really good. Fletch. Making plays, obviously, in this city, that's what he does, right? He just makes plays, and when the defense is going because Fletch is doing what he's doing, that's a really good thing. And I feel like that's the last couple games has been like, hey, the defense, the playmaking has been running through him, right? And that's what you want out of your captain on the team is that it's running through him. He's making plays, and everybody's feeding off of that because he is a dominant football player, and he's been a dominant football player in this league for a long time. And everything on D-line can't always be judged on stats, and I know that we do that at times, and that's just the way it is. But he changes the game, and I would say when we're showing the tape today, out of the 10 plays I showed of just the defense to the team, 3 of them were three of the good ones were impacted because of what Fletch did. Maybe not he didn't make the play, but what he did by knocking back the guard or knocking back the end or knocking back the tight end, the tackle or the tight end. And so I just think that he's continuing to play good football. I wouldn't say he's just been playing good football, and now he's getting some stats that go along with it. Really smart play by him. I think what you saw on the sack, like first of all, you saw the extreme hustle that he plays with every time we put up our all hustle team for the week. Fletch is on it, which is saying a lot about the man's character and the way he goes and goes about his business. And so, if you look at that play where he had the sack on Tannehill, he not only gets out of the stack and runs down a very mobile quarterback, but then he wraps him up for a 3 or 4 yard loss on a third down. And then where guys have this tendency to carry that body weight into them on the sideline, Fletch has the ability to say, I got the sack, I'm going to pull myself. That's really hard what he did. Pull myself off of Tannehill. The sack's already done, and now I don't get a late hit, and we get the ball back. And so I just first since I've been here, I've seen him do that over and over again, and through different ways, right? And not always is it on the stat sheet, but it's always felt. And I love that he's on this team. I love that he's one of our captains, and he's playing good football.
Two more guys? You have an all-hustle team?
Yeah, I mean it's not exactly labeled that. It's called something a little bit different, but it just shows who's going out there and ripping it on defense. It's Gannon and the defensive staff put it together. It's something we've done for a long time. We did it in Indianapolis as well. It's just like, hey, who's getting to the football essentially, on backsides, all different thing. It's not called all hustle team. I thought that was the easiest way to say it to you guys.
Giants having a pretty successful season here, especially under head coach Brian Dable. You have been in his shoes very recently. How impressive is that coach to coach that he's been able to really turn this team around in his first season there?
Yeah, no surprise. Brian's I think you guys know this, Brian's one of my biggest mentors. As far as what he taught me, I wish I had more time with Brian. It's in just the year that we had. And it was when you go 2-14 and one of your biggest mentors is one of the guys on the staff from that 2-14 team, he's teaching me a lot in that sense. So a lot of my development as a coach came from him. And so no surprise that the Giants are playing the way they are because I know how good of a coach Brian Dable is. And I'd be lying if I knew that he was picking, I don't know if he was picking between Miami or the Giants, but I know there was that talk that he could go to Miami and Giants, and I wanted him to go over there to Miami because I just know how good of a coach he is. He's phenomenal. And so he's done a great job. He's done a great job. His team's, his team plays sound. They win tight games. They don't screw it up. And he's got those guys playing well, and they got good players over there. And so him and Coach Martindale, I think that they're really good coaches, and and they got him playing sound football. And so I'm not surprised.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
What's it called?